Hello friends, I am Ashita. I am studying grade 4. I am going to talk about story of universe. The universe is everything we can touch, feel, sense, measure or detect. It includes living things, planets, stars, galaxies, dust clouds, light and even time. Before the birth of universe, time, space and matter did not exist. The universe contains billions of galaxies, each contain millions or billions of stars. The space between the star and galaxy is largely empty. However, even planets far from stars and planets contain scattered particles of dust or a fuel, hydrogen atoms per cubic centimeter. No one knows that the exact size of universe, because we cannot see the edges of if this is one. All we do know that the visible universe is at least 93 billion light years across. A light years is that distance light travels in 1 year, about 9 trillion kilometers. The universe has not always been the same size. Scientists believe that the Big Bang, which took place nearly 14 billion years ago. Since that, the universe has been expanded outward at very high speed. So the area of space we now see is billions of times Big Bang. Oh, it's them. This one. The universe was very young. The galaxies are also moving further upward as the space between them expands. Space is also filled with radiation, example light and heat, magnetic field and high energy particles, example cosine, comic rays. Milky Way and the universe is incredibly huge. It would take a model jet fighter more than 1 million years to reach the nearest star to the sun. Trillions to traveling to the space speed of light, 3 lakh kilometers per second. It would take 1 lakh years to cross our Milky Way galaxy alone. Now we are going to talk about solar system. The solar system is made up of the sun and all of the small objects that moving around it. Apart from the sun, the largest members of the solar system are the 8 major planets. Neptune, nearest the sun, or 4 fairly small rock planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. These planets are much bigger than Earth, but very large, lightweight for their size. They are most made of hydrogen and helium. Until recently, the farthest known planet was an icy world called Pluto. However, Pluto is dwarfed by Earth's moon, and many astronomers think it's too small to be called a true planet.
Project overview. Tool use. 6. Create the solar system project with animation by using 6 tools. First, add the black background color to stage by using its properties. Then add the orbit, sun and planets using circle shape. Apply send to back VG color border with 2Ds. Add more frames to rotate the planet in the orbit. Working. In each frame, change the planet's position in its orbit. Apply speed as 2 and select the loop. Then click the play button. Now the solar system is ready with animation. Let's get started with the project. This one I have made. I have clicked the loop, set the speed as 2. Then I have played. My planets will rotate in its orbit. I have added a lot of frames to rotate the planet. Conclusion. Thus we created the solar system project with animation. Thank you.
My name is Krish. I am from BVMG. Today I am going to talk about comets, asteroids and meteoroids. Comets. A comet is a small solar system body. It's made up of ice and dust and rocky materials. All comets in our solar system orbit the sun. A short period comet takes less than 200 years to complete an orbit of our sun. A long period comet can take thousands to millions of years to complete an orbit of our sun. This is the comet orbit, this is the sun, and this is the Earth's orbit. When comets pass near our sun, they release gases as they warm up. This is called outgassing. It creates a coma, also known as tail. This is the long stream you see behind a comet. When a planet passes through the tail of a comet, we get a meteor shower, which is the debris from the tail entering the Earth's atmosphere. Comets are often called the dirty snowballs of the solar system. This is the tail and this is the coma. Next, asteroids. Asteroids are small rocky bodies that orbit or travel around the sun. They are also called mini-planet or planetoids. Asteroids are much smaller than the planets. Generally, they are material left over from the planet's form. Some are nearly round, while others are irregularly shaped. They also create when other bodies in space collide and break. Main asteroid belt and Trojan asteroid. Asteroid can be almost in any shape. Most asteroids travel around the sun in a loose path that falls between the orbit of the sun, Mars and Jupiter. Astronomers identified the first asteroids in 1801. Asteroids are made up of stone and metal. International Asteroid Day is celebrated on 30th June. The largest known asteroid is named Ceres. It is so large that it is also known as dwarf planet. The four largest asteroids are Pallas, Hygiene. Meteoroids. What is meteoroid? A meteoroid is a small piece of rock or material that has broke off from a comet or an asteroid. Meteoroids can form from asteroid colliding or as debris from comets speed by the sun. When a meteor hits the atmosphere, it will heat up and burn with a bright streak of light called a falling star or a shooting star. If several meteors occur at the same and near the same place in the sky, it is called a meteor shower. Added line from this line plus and made the lines white. And then I add second frame and I did the shadow. Then again I added the shadow and I made 10 slides. Then I add more lines. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Akhilesh of grade 5A. In our robotics project day, uh, our topic is extraterrestrial beings. Our team, Sai Mahadev, Jai Vasigaran and me, our team. Next, what are extraterrestrial beings? To be only being beyond the planet Earth. It derived from the Latin words extra and extraterrestrial life. Extraterrestrial life is hypothetical life that may occur outside the Earth and which did not originate on Earth. Such as life might range from simply organoids to intelligent beings and even sapient beings, possible bringing forth civilization that might be far more advanced than humanity. Next,
I am Jai Vasigaran of class 5A, here to do a project on extraterrestrial beings. A picture of extraterrestrial beings, a picture of alien flying in space. Alien sends signal to universe. Extraterrestrial life. Extraterrestrial life is a hypothetical life that may occur outside Earth and which did not originate on Earth. Such life might range from simple prokaryotes to intelligent beings and even sapient beings, possibly bringing forth civilization that might be far more advanced than humanity. Thank you.
Extraterrestrial intelligence. Hypothetical extraterrestrial life that is capable of thinking, purposeful activity. Work in the new field of astrobiology has provided some evidence that evolution of the other intelligent species in the Milky Way galaxy is not utterly improbable. In particular, more than 4,000 extrasolar planets have been detected, and underground water is likely present in Mars and on some of the moons of outer solar system. These efforts suggest that there could be many worlds on which life and occasionally intelligent life might arise. Searches for radio signals or optical flashes from other stars. Communication with terrestrial beings. Even the State National Academy of Science has gone on record that contact with other civilization is no longer something beyond our dreams but a natural event in this history of mankind that will perhaps occur in the lifetime. Sir Bernard Lowell, one of the world's leading radio astronomers, has calculated that even allowing for margin of error of 5,000%, there must be in our galaxy about 100 million stars which have planets, chemistry, dimensions, and temperature to support organic evolution. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is at least a billion of other galaxies similar to ours in the universe. The number of stars that could support some form of life is to reach for a word astronomical as to advanced forms of life advanced by our own miserable Earth standards. Dr. Frank D. Drake of the National Radio Astronomy Observatory at Green Bank, West Virginia, has stated that putting all our knowledge together, the number of civilizations which could have arisen by now is about 1 billion. Going back decades, life exists on other planets and moons, and the answer you will get is a confident yes. Going back decades and in many ways generations, we have introduced to manage tree of extraterrestrials, good and bad. This present suffers our entertainment and culture, and we humans seem to have an almost innate belief, or is it a hope, that we are not alone in the universe.
Hello all, I am P. Sai Mahadev of class 5A. I have made a project using Scratch software about an alien and a boy. Please watch. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.
Life in Space by Ratan and Lakshmi. We cannot live in another planet. We can only live in Earth. We cannot live in other 7 planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Life in Space point. The first people to go into space only went up for a short trip to see what it was like. Today, astronauts can spend weeks or even months living and working in space. They stay on a large spacecraft called a space station, which orbits or travels around the Earth. What is life in space? But in space, blood and water move to the upper body. This makes astronaut faces often appear puffed. Astronauts may have a difficult time getting seated and will as well. Crew members experience 16 rise and sunset each day, and they have struck themselves down inside their sleeping bags and contract weightlessness.
Life in space is easy. The only significant difference from the living on the Earth that they operate in the confined space to the space shuttle or orbital cabin, and that all the objects inside the cabin float because the microdative on the space shuttle some jobs, like handling tools and fluids, becoming more difficult. What was the difficult astronomers? The first people to go into the space went up only for a short trips to see what is it like. Today, astronauts can spend weeks and even months living in the space station which orbits travels around the Earth. The astronauts on the board spend their days carrying the significant experiments studying the such things effect on the space that human body growth of the plants.
They also maintain the space station, making sure it stays perfect working order. In space, our astronauts grow up into 2 in and 5 centimeters taller than they are on the Earth. This because their backbone lengths in the space. Thank you. This is my project.
My name is Meghna Nair and I am from 6A. My teammate is Pujit. Today we are going to conduct a project. Our project name is ISRO and Gaganyaan. ISRO. ISRO stands for Indian Space Research Organization, formed in 1969. They are made so many machines possible in a successful way, such as launch of Aryabhatta, India's first satellite in 1975, launching the heaviest commercial mission in 2015. 2008 Chandrayaan-1 launched 104 satellites in one mission. 2014's Mangalyaan or MOM, and so on. Microgravity experiments on Gaganyaan's mission 2022. The Indian Space Research Organization is inching closer to the ambitious Gaganyaan mission to send 3 Indian astronauts to space in 2022. Just about 90 days since Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement on the mission, ISRO has begun putting together a list of science experiments to carry out over the 7 days the astronauts will spend in low Earth orbit. At rupees 10 crore, the Gaganyaan mission is India's biggest space mission so far. The space agency is conducting a minimum of 10 microgravity experiments for the mission, including space medicine, sensor development for medical devices, fluid physics, microbiology, air filters, and biosensors, monitoring of toxic gases. AstroSat contributes to the saga of gravitational wave astronomy. The elusive and long sought after GW signals from merging binary neutron stars were found, and multi-messenger observation provided telltale signs of the merger cleans the issue without any clamps. Two of the GW detectors in the US picked up the signal, and the third, working in Europe, confirmed it. Several of the satellites in the sky detected signals from this event across various bands of the electromagnetic spectrum, and a vast array of optical and radio telescopes worldwide trained their vision into this new phenomenon, finding a variety of signals. Thank you. Now I hand over the project to my teammate Pujit.
Hi everyone, my name is Pujit and my teammate is Meghna Nair. For our project is Mission Gaganyaan. These are the backdrop we have made it for Gaganyaan. These are the 6 These are the 6 background we have made it for Ganganyaan. After that, this is the coding part of the rocket. These are the coding we made it for the rocket to launch. Also, we added text-to-speech and all block. After that, rocket disassembling part we also added. When it's rocket into the space, it will disable that part. We have disassembled the part. After that, the missile is help the rocket to move above the rocks. It's very big. After that, go. These are to counting. We made an option called go. First, I will show the project for you. These are the project we have made.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Small debris detected. Shoot. Big debris detected. Missile launch required. Way cleared, ready for orbiting Mars. Successfully orbited Mars.
Thank you.
Everyone, I am Vijayalayan of class 6A to present my PPT on mission Mangalyan. Mangalyan A mission to Mars by Vijayalayan grade 6. Space probe. The Mars orbiter mission, also called Mangalyan, is a space probe orbiting Mars since 24th September 2014. It was launched on 5th November 2013 by the Indian Space Research Organization. The Mars orbiter mission probe lifted off from the first launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Andhra Pradesh, using a PSLV rocket. The launch window was approximately 20 days long and started on 28 October 2013. Part of Mangalyan. The spacecraft leaves the Earth in a direction tangentially to Earth's orbit and inquires Mars tangentially to its orbit, and the flight path is rough, one half of an ellipse around Sun. Eventually, it will intersect the orbit of Mars at the exact moment when Mars is there too. Person involved in Mangalyan research: Mailsami Annadurai, A. Kirnan Kumar, E. Unnikrishnan, K. Radhakrishnan. Mangalyan's voyage. The Mars orbiter mission was achieved on a budget of $74 million, nearly a tenth of the amount the U.S. Space Agency NASA used to sending the Maven spacecraft to Mars by placing Mangalyaan in the Mars orbit. India joined the U.S. and Europe Space Agency and Russia in the elite club of Martian explorers. Mangalyaan voyage. After completing the 666 million kilometer journey in more than 10 months, the spacecraft will now study the red planet surface and scan its atmosphere. The mission is meant to test India's ability to place a craft in Mars 10 orbit and technologies required for the future interplanetary missions. Thank you.
Mangalyaan, a mission to Mars by Sai Krish, grade 6. What are the parts of Mangalyaan? Mangalyaan carries a 15-kilogram payload suit that consists of 5 scientific instruments: the MAN Alpha Photometer, LAP, Martin Exospheric Neutral Composition Analyzer, MENCA, Mars Color Camera, MCC, Mental Sensor for Mars, MSM, Thermal Infrared Imaging System, TIS. Is Mangalyaan still orbiting Mars? Mangalyaan 1 was launched in November 2013 and entered the Martian orbit in September 2014. Designed to work for 6 months, the mission is in its 7th year now. The probe is still in good health and continues to work normally. On 24th September 2019, MOM completed 5 years in orbit around Mars, sending 2 terabytes of imaging data, and had enough propellant to complete another year in orbit. Thank you.
My mission Mangalyaan in Scratch. I have used number 3 and 2, 1, and the letters G and O. I have used a line and another line, and I have used 4 rocket ships and a sprite called Mission Mangalyaan successful. For the first rocket, I have used these blocks, and this is how, and it should, when the flag is clicked, it should show up and go to this value, and it should switch costume to 5. That is, I have used 5 costumes, and they are these, and it should go on starting, it should be this, and when it receives 4, the receive 4 will be over here, like it, when the flag is clicked, it should show hide first, and this sprite needs to wait for a second and show up, and I have used the speaker 3 here and broadcasted the message 1. Then I have put it forever looped and hide, and on starting it should hide, and when it receives message 1 only it should show up. So I have used when received message 1 show and speak 2, and broadcasted message 1 and it should hide. And when this is also the same, but if it receives message 1, it should show and speak 1 and broadcast the message and hide. And go will also do the same. And here I have used 4 as the broadcasting message. And when this sprite gets the message 4, it should glide to on starting. It should be here, and it should repeat 2 times, changing these characters. And then it should wait for 0.1 second and change costume to 1 and glide upwards. After glide, I have used this 10 line on the top. On message 4 only it will show up, and I have put it forever looped and if loop. In sensing, I have used the touching rocket ship and broadcasted a message. This means like if touching the rocket ship, it should change. It should broadcast the message change. And on starting, it should go to the desert map. That is this. And after that, on change 1, on change it should show star, and change 1 it will be this Mars image. And if touching this, change comes means like it will change to star, this image. And then I have used the spaceship 2 here, and on starting it should hide, and when it receives message change, it should go to this position and so, and it should glide, and if it receives message 1, it should hide, and message 1 comes from here, uh, like on starting it should hide, and when it receives message 1, it should show up, and the same as this sprite, it should touching rocket chip 2, it should broadcast the message change 1, and I have used it when it receives change 1, it should hide. And on for the rocket chip 3, on starting it should hide, and when it receives change 1, it should show up, but it should go to this position, and it needs to glide and put a message change 2 and hide. When this mission rocket ship 4 in the rocket ship 4, it should hide on the starting, and when it receives change 2, it need to wait for a second and show up, and it need to go to this value, and it should glide and broadcast a message 1 to 2. And in this I have used it should hide first, and then if it receives 1 to 2, it should show up and speak mission Mangalyan successful. And this is the final program. Thank you.
Hi, I am Akash S. Prasad of grade 7. Today I am going to talk about planets. The Sun is the star at center of solar system. It is nearly perfect sphere of hot plasma heated to incandescence by nuclear fusion reacts in its core, radiating the energy mainly as visible light, ultraviolet light and infrared radiation. It is by far the most important source of energy for life on Earth. Its diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers or 109 times that of Earth. Its mass is about 3,30,000 times of Earth. It accounts for about 99.86 of total mass of the solar system. Roughly three-quarters of the Sun mass consists of hydrogen, that is 73%. The rest is mostly helium, 25%, with much smaller quantities of heavier elements including oxygen, carbon, and neon, and iron. Earth is the third planet from the Sun and the only astronomical object known to harbor and support life. About 29.2% of Earth's surface is land consisting of continents and islands. The remaining 70.8% is covered with water, mostly by oceans, seas, and other saltwater bodies, but also lakes, rivers, and other fresh water, which together constitute hydrosphere. Much Earth's polar regions are covered in ice. Earth's outer layer is divided into several rigid tectonic plates that migrate across the surface over many millions of years, while its interior remains active with a solid iron inner core, a liquid outer core that generates Earth's magnetic field, and connective matter that drives plate tectonics. Jupiter is the first planet from the Sun and the largest in the solar system. It is a gas giant with with a mass more than 2.5 times that of all the other planets in solar system combined, but slightly less than 1,000 the mass of the Sun. Jupiter is the third brightest natural object in the Earth's night sky after Moon and Venus. It has been observed since prehistoric times and is named after Roman god Jupiter, the king of gods, because of its observed size. The Saturn is the fifth planet from the Sun and the second largest in solar system after Jupiter. It is a gas giant with an average radius of about 9.5 times that of Earth. It only has 1/8 the average density of Earth. However, with its larger volume, Saturn is 95 times more massive. Saturn is named after Roman god of wealth and agriculture. Its astronomic symbol represents God's sickle. The Romans named the seventh day of the week Saturday, Saturn's Day, no later than the 2nd century for the planet Saturn.
Hello everyone, I am Avyakta Arvind of class 7B here to talk some facts on stars. Let's begin. There are 9,096 stars visible to the naked eye in the entire sky. To see more, you will have to use a telescope to reveal stars fainter than your eyes can see. You can only see about 2,000 stars on a very dark night with a naked eye from any given place on Earth. To do this, you need to observe on a moonless night and be far away from sources of light pollution. Astronomers estimate that there are trillion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Stars are born in batches in their stellar nurseries. Over time, they travel through Milky Way far from their caches. When you look at a star or literally any object in space, you are seeing how it looked in the past. The sun appears as it was 8.5 minutes ago. The view of Alpha Centauri is 4.3 years old, while the appearance of Sirius is more than 8 years old. Most stars travel the galaxy with companions or in clusters, but not all stars do that. Our sun, for example, moves through the galaxy without a stellar companion. The more massive a star, the shorter its lifespan. A very massive star may live only tens of millions of years, while a cool dwarf will shine on for billions of years. At an age of 4.5 billion years, our sun is considered middle-aged. The oldest accurately dated star chart appeared in ancient Egyptian astronomy in 1534 BC. For the furthest distance an individual star has been observed from is about 100 million light years from the Earth in the M100 galaxy of the Virgo cluster. In 185 AD, Chinese astronomers were the first to record a supernova. This is now classified as SN 185. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Sahana of class 7B and now I'm gonna tell you some facts on moon. The moon or the Earth's moon is an astronomical body that orbits the planet and acts as its only permanent and natural satellite. The moon is the Earth's only natural satellite and the fifth largest moon in the solar system. The moon's presence helps stabilize our planet's orbit and moderate our climate. The moon's distance from Earth is about 240,000 miles and 385,000 kilometers. The moon has a very thin atmosphere called an exosphere. Although the moon shines bright in the sky, in night sky, it doesn't produce its own light. When you see the moon, because it reflects light from the sun. Ever noticed how the moon appears to change shape each night? That's because as the moon orbits the earth, the sun lights up different parts of its surface. So it's just our view of the moon that's changing, not the moon itself. Find out more in our fascinating solar eclipse. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon gets between Earth and the sun, and the moon casts a shadow over the Earth. A solar eclipse can only take place at the phase of new moon, when the moon passes directly between the sun and the Earth and its shadow fall upon Earth's surface. A lucky set of circumstances make total solar eclipses as seen from Earth possible. The moon is just the and distance from our planet to appear as the same size as the sun in the sky. When the moon passes between the sun and the earth, it covers the sun perfectly with an impressive coronal illumination. Its edges. If it is were any smaller or further from earth, it would look like a blot on the sun during a solar eclipse. Thank you. I hope these information would help you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Avyakta Arvind of class 7, here to talk about my topic in our main topic called the Visit to Space and Space Station. You see, Visit to Space actually has many other branches such as stars, galaxies, meteors, planets, satellites, and even a very detailed explanation of our very own Earth. A space station is an artificial satellite used in a long-term base for manned operations in space. Now, let's talk about the demonstration. The satellite is our player whom we control, and the comet is our obstacle. The satellite must try its hardest to dodge the comet. And you see, these are the lives. You see, this satellite does not have many lives. It has only 3, so it has to try its hardest not to get hit by the comet. Let's begin our demonstration. You see, the main work of our meteor is to keep following our satellite, and the satellite must keep losing its life if hit by the comet. And if it gets hit 3 times, you see, game over. Thank you everyone.
Hi, my name is Akash H. Prasad of class 7. I have made an obstacle avoider game using Tinker. In this game, there will be a spaceship. It has to copy the data from the space station and then share it with the space researchers in Earth. If it gets crashed on a meteoroid, it says game over and stops the game. Now, let's know about space station. A space station is also known as an orbital space station. This is a spacecraft capable of supporting a human crew in orbit for a longer period of time. It is where the astronauts stay and do the research while on a space mission. The space station does not have major propulsion or landing systems, but space stations have docking ports to allow other spacecraft to plug in to transfer crew and supplies. Earlier, the space stations were abandoned after the space mission, but nowadays, the space stations are equipped with orbital replacement units (ORU). They are replaced with obsolete parts like pumps, battery units, antenna, etc. ISRO is planning to put a 20-ton space station in orbit in the next 5 to 7 years.
Hi all, this is Vikash and Pranay from the Robotix team to present you the topic Astronomy in the Vedic period. Introduction. Indian astronomy has a long history stretching from prehistoric to modern times. Astronomy developed as a discipline of Vedanga dating 1500 BCE or older. The oldest known text is the Vedanga Jyotisha dating to 1400 to 1200 BCE. Indian astronomy was influenced by the Greek astronomy beginning in the 4th century BCE and the early centuries of the Common Era. Later, the Indian astronomy significantly influenced Muslim, Chinese, European astronomies and others. History. Vedanga Jyotisha is the earliest known Indian text on astronomy. It includes the details about the sun, moon, nakshatras, lunisolar calendar. By the early centuries of the Common Era, Indo-Greek influence on the astronomical tradition is visible with the texts such as the Yavana Jataka and Romaka Siddhanta. The Panka Siddhantika by Varahamira approximates the method of determination of the meridian direction from any three positions of the shadow using gnomon. Other topics include definitions of different units of time, eccentric models of planetary motion, epicyclic models of planetary motion, and planetary longitude corrections for various terrestrial locations. The divisions of the year were on the basis of the religious rites and seasons. Indian astronomers Lagada, Brahmagupta, Varahamira, Bhaskara 1, Lalla, Bhaskara 2, Sripati, Mahendra Suri, Neelakandan, Samayaji, Akyuta Pisarati and Aryabhatta are some of the astronomers of the Vedic period. Let's see about Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta was the author of the Aryabhatiya and the Aryabhatta Siddhanta. It had a profound influence on the development of Islamic astronomy. Its contents are preserved to some extent in the works of Varahamira, Bhaskara 1, Brahmagupta and others. Vainu Bapu, who was also called as the father of astronomy, was an Indian astronomer and president of the International Astronomical Union. Bapu helped to establish several astronomical institutions in India, including the Vainu Bapu Observatory. In 1957, he discovered Wilson-Bapu effect jointly with an American astronomer Allen Chaddock Wilson. On July 2, 1949, he spotted a bright moving object which he rightfully understood to be a comet. When he turned to his professor Bart Bogg and colleague Gordon Newkirk, the International Astronomical Union officially named the comet as the Bapu-Bob-Newkirk comet. Bapu also received the Dan No-Ho Comet Medal of the Astronomical Society of the Pacific. This is the only comet with an Indian name.
Instruments used. An instrument invented by the mathematician astronomer Bhaskara called the Falaka Yantra was used to determine time from the sun's altitude. The Kapala Yantra was an equatorial sundial used to determine the sun's azimuth. And Kartan Yantra, introduced from the Islamic world, is also an important astronomical instrument used. Astronomical myths. Eclipses are explained in early mythology in India as a story of demon trying to eat up the sun and the moon. A mural depicted the story can be seen in Angkor Wat. The gods lost their immortality and kingdom. They approached Lord Vishnu for help. Vishnu advised them that they could regain their original stature if they consumed the nectar of immortality from the bottom of the ocean of milk. Realizing that they needed the help of the Ark force, they called a truce with Asuras. The gods and the Asuras churned the ocean together using a serpent Vasuki as a churning group and the Mount Mandara as the churning staff. Churning continued. Various objects are thrown out, including a deadly poison, Halahala. The fumes of the poison threatened to destroy the Devas and the Asuras. So Lord Shiva then came to their rescue. He gathered an entire poison in his palm and drank it. The poison was so potent that even Shiva dared not consume it. The Parvati chose his clasped his throat and held the poison there, and the throat became blue with the effect of the poison. The nectar of immortality came out of the ocean. The asuras immediately took charge of the pot. Vishnu again came to their rescue in the form of a beautiful damsel, Mohini, and distracted the asuras. She then retrieved the potion and distributed it to the devas. By the time the asuras realized Vishnu's tricks, it was too late as the devas regained their renowned powers and defeated them. When the nectar was being served to the gods, a demon disguised as a god sat between the sun and the moon in an attempt to procure the nectar. When he was defeated by the sun and the moon, Lord Vishnu immediately severed his head from his body. Unfortunately, it was not fast enough, for the demon had already tasted a small quantity of the nectar and he had become immortal. Ever since, this demon is said to wreak vengeance on the sun and moon whenever they came near the head of his great demon is also known as Rahu, and his tail is known as Ketu. However, since both have the opening on both ends, the swallowed sun and the moon soon emerge from the demon's body. In Hindu astrology, Rahu and Ketu are known as two invisible planets. They are enemies of sun and the moon. At certain times of the year, it is said to be they swallow the sun or the moon, causing either a solar or a lunar eclipse. In either evolution of the myth, Rahu and Ketu are defined as ascending and descending nodes of the elliptical equator. When the sun and the moon came together at this point, we get a solar eclipse as an ascending node and lunar eclipse at a descending node. The mathematical equations are set up by the time of Aryabhatta, and eclipses are accurately calculated thereafter. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Vikash and I and Pranay have done an Pyrocode project for astronomy in the Vedic period. We have made a astronomy museum, Indian Astronomy Museum, where if you enter it, you can move around rooms to see astronomers and the instruments used in Indian astronomy. By clicking the speak button, you can hear the informations about the things and the persons you can see in the picture.
We used block coding to do this in the Pyrocode app. So I'm going to show you some of our codes. And for this project, we had almost For this project, we had almost 15 sprites. Each sprite has its own code. For example, I'll show you the first opening screen. For this, we used when tabbed event block and sound speak block. Then after we tap on this screen, it will podcast message. When this message is saved by room 1, it will show the, then for the sound key, we used when tabbed and we recorded that audio, then we added to this code. When we tap that icon, it will start this sound that we added. Then when you move to the next room, whenever we move to another room, the room which was moved to broadcast a message. That message will be received by these, then they respond accordingly. And this is the entrance screen. When we tap the screen, it will take us to the first room. In this first room, I have Aryabhatta and Varahamihira's pictures and their information. If we wanted to know about Aryabhatta, we have to click the speaker icon.
Aryabhatta was the first of the major mathematician astronomers from the classical age of Indian mathematics and Indian astronomy. His works include the Aryabhatiya and the Arya Siddhanta.
So this is how this works. Then to move to the next room, we have to click this play button near, or the right button near the door. It will take us to the second room. In this room, I'm having Brahmagupta and Bhaskara's information and images.
Brahmagupta was an Indian mathematician and astronomer. He is the author of two early works on mathematics and astronomy, the Brahmasphara Siddhanta, a theoretical treatise, and the Khandakatyaka, a more practical text. Brahmagupta was the first to give rules to compute with zero.
So that's it. Then I'm moving to the third room. In this room, you can see Jantar Mantar and Yantra Mandir. These are two main instruments built by the Vedic astronomers. So to know more, you can click the speaker icon.
Jantar Mantar is an assembly of stone-built astronomical instruments, designed to be used with the naked eye. There were 5 Jantar Mantars in India, all of them built at the command of the Raja Jai Singh II, who had a keen interest in mathematics, architecture, and astronomy. 4 remain, as the Jantar Mantar at Mathura was torn down just before the revolt of 1857.
So this is how this works. Then when I'm playing one sound at a time, if I'm moving to the next room, the audio will cut off. Then if I want to end this program, I should press this on button to turn off this museum setup.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, today we'll be seeing about space in literature. This PPT is done by Varsha Karthik, which is myself, and Mahalakshmi S.
In this video, we'll be seeing about past approaches of literary space, modern approaches of literary space, and modern approaches of Yuri Lotman, Janusz Slavinsky, Miek Zilslaw-Brzezinski.
Past approaches of literary space. Space in 20th century was regarded as a part of various literary space, such as the narrative situation. It only changed in the last decade period. Since then, literary space has been treated as an independent and unique entity, semantic center of work, while such notations as time of action and character became particularization.
Modern approaches of literary space. There were many modern approaches. The main in them were the Yuri Lotman, Janusz Slavinsky, Miek Zilslaw-Brzezinski.
Vyacheslav Probesi. His work can be divided into 3 types. Extratextual, where the work of art is stored. Intertextual, which is the space only in metamorphic sense. And the last one is the intratextual. It is also called as the national space since it is amplified.
Modern approaches of Janusz Slavinsky. He was considered the presented reality to be the most fundamental code modeling space as the principle organizing the thematic compositional plane of a single literary work. It is vital not only to imagine space but also to follow the narration. Literary or cultural conventions constitute the second space modeling code. It does not refer to have an individual work shaped space. Main features of Gothic novels are elements of the supernatural and the sublime. Therefore, texts are full of ghosts, vampire, and so on. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Varsha. I and Mahalakshmi together we did a coding, pyrocode coding about the space in literature. We've done a Kindle book which will show the books and its informations.
We did a Firocode project in which we have sources of 9 books. If we touch each book, we get the sources of the book. For example, if I click the first book, that is the name is Leica's Window. Cast We get the sources about it. We did this project by with the help of the app Firocode, and we did coding in this project. I'm showing for only one book. Like when scene starts, we show the front page of the book and we set the size in that Kindle phone, and we place it in a right position with the help of place at X and Y. And when we tap the logo of the book, it should show the sources of the book. And we have attached that the sources in the Leica's window. We have set the size with the help of set size to 250%. If we click the book, it will show as a big screen, and place it at the correct position.
Good morning to one and all present here. I'm Ashwin from K9. Today I'll be talking about space architecture. Space architecture is the theory and practice of designing and building inhabitant environments in outer space. Fundamental to space architecture is to design the physical and physiological wellness in space. View of current space architecture, the ISS. The ISS is an International Space Station, which is a modular space station in low Earth orbit, built by aerospace engineers and stuck together by political grid. The ISS is a very different kind of construction to the iconic buildings that shape our cities. The Hubble Space Telescope is a telescope that was launched into low Earth orbit in 1990 and remains still in operation. Scientists have used Hubble to observe the most distant stars and galaxies as well as planets in our solar system. A skyhook is a proposed momentum exchange tether that aims to reduce the cost of placing payloads into low Earth orbit. A heavy orbiting station which is connected to a cable which extends downwards towards the upper atmosphere. Payloads which are much lighter than the station are hooked to one end of the cable as it passes, and then the skyhook spins and throws it into the outer space. Thank you.
Good morning, I am Rashmika from class 9. I am here to talk about spatial dimensions. According to string theory, there are 10 dimensions of space, but only 3 are known to everyone. The first 3 dimensions which is known to us are the one-dimensional, it is a straight line has only length. Two-dimensional figure has 2 terms, length and height, example square. Three-dimensional figure has length, height and depth or the width. The other dimensions are fourth dimension. Scientists believe that the fourth dimension involves time along with length, width and depth. The fifth dimension, we would see a world slightly different from our own that would give us a mean of measuring the similarity and differences between our world and others possible ones. The sixth dimension. In the sixth dimension, we could compare and position all the possible universes that starts with the same initial condition as this one. Seventh dimension. In the seventh dimension, you have access to the possible worlds that start with different initial conditions. Everything is different from the very beginning of time. Eighth dimension. The eighth dimension again gives us a plane of such possible universe histories, each of which begins with different initial conditions and branches out infinitely. In the ninth dimension, we can compare all the possible universe histories, starting with all the different possible laws of physics and initial conditions. The 10th dimension and the final dimension. In the 10th dimension, we arrive at the point in which everything possible and imaginable is covered. Beyond this, nothing can be imagined by us, lowly mortals, which makes it the natural limitation of what we can conceive in terms of dimensions. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Barnitharan of class 9. I am here to say about space in a geographical terms. Space, it is a container which holds all the earthly matters. Absolute conception of space in which space is a distinct, physical, elementary real or an empirical entity in itself. Characteristics of space, it is a physical and active, it is existing and it is an orderly manner. It is measurable and can be described. It can be a point or a line on a map. Types of geographical space. Real space. This is the common geographical space which can be reflected by maps or remote sensing images and so forth. Phase space. It can be described by time series of the geographical system. The concept of space is taken from physics, but it is very helpful in reflecting regularity in temporal series of geographical evolution. Order space. It is defined by referring to the definition of space. It is also characterized by hierarchical data, including the geographical data based on rank order.
Hello everyone, this is Mahilan Arjunan of class 9B here to speak a few words about economics. Being a wonderful listener universally makes one an excellent communicator. You guys may wonder, what is economics? It is the most simple and confusing definition. Economics is the study of how society uses its limited resources. Economics is a social science that deals with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. What are the benefits of studying economics? The study of economics helps people to understand the world around them. It enables people to understand the businesses, markets, and the government, and therefore better responses to the threats and opportunities that emerges within their changes. There are four types of economic system: traditional economic system, command economic system, market economic system, and mixed economic system. Cost and benefits of economic growth. Benefits: reduction in illiteracy, reduction in poverty, improved health, longer lives, political stability. Environmental pollution, breakdown of families, isolation allegation, urban construction. Why economics is a science? Economics is a scientific study of the ownership, use and exchange of scarce resources, often short terms of the science of scarcity. Economics is regarded as a social science because it uses scientific methods to build theories that can help explain the behavior of individuals and a group. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Rashmika from class 9. I'm here to speak about a project. This project is based on the topic spatial dimension, and this project was made on a software called Scratch. When the flag is clicked, the Scratch cat or the character asks which dimension do you want to see a cube. For example, I'm giving 4 for the 4th dimension. Now there's a picture of a 4th dimension cube and a fact about it. The fact is, in geometry, the tesseract is a 4-dimensional analog of the cube. The tesseract is to the cube as the cube is to the square. We can see all the dimension from 1 dimension to the 10th dimension in the same way. Let us take a look on 2 more dimensions, which is the 1 dimension and the 10th dimension. So when I click 1 for 1 dimension, there is a picture of a line and the fact. The fact is, 1-dimensional object is a line or line segment which has length but no other characteristics. In the 10th dimension, the fact given is a 10 cube is a 10-dimensional hypercube. It has 1024 vertices, 5120 edges, 11520 square faces, 15360 cubic cells, 13440 tesseract 4 faces, 8064 5 cubed 5 faces, 3366 cubed 6 faces, 967 cubed 7 faces, 188 cubed 8 faces, and 29 cubed 9 faces. When we take a look at the blocks used for the project, we can see many colors of blocks. The lighter yellow blocks is called events, the darker yellow blocks are called control, the green blocks are called operators, the dark blue blocks are called motion, the light blue blocks are called sensing, and the purple blocks are called looks. By now, we would have gained some information about scratch and spatial dimensions. Thank you for your time and attention.
The space has a thrill every second that enlightens you by this beautiful quote of Neil Armstrong. I am Mahilan Arjunan of Class 9B, here to speak a few words about our model's programming. Yes, guys, as you know, our model is based on the geography of the planets. Now, let us start with the programming. We have made the planet size to enlarge up to 160% when you click it. We have also included 2 points about each geographic features of the planet. To exit out of the model, we have provided an exit button on the top. To help you guys to help you guys know more about the rotation of the planet, we have also provided an icon in the bottom which shows us how each planet rotates in our solar system. Thank you.
Hello everyone. We the students of class 10 are going to talk about how artificial intelligence is used in image enhancement and is used in the building of satellites and spacecraft. I'm Manojna and I will be talking about how artificial intelligence is used in image enhancement. Now, first we need to understand what is image enhancement. Image enhancement or pro-image enhancement is the process of improving the quality and the information of original data before processing it. AI enhancing the images is widely used nowadays to get clear pictures of planets, stars, galaxies, other systems, and even the black holes. AI image enhancement usually consists of several transformations such as image denoising, deblurring, upscaling, contrast enhancement, lighting up low light pictures, removing optical distortion, etc. We could say that a time machine of the planet has been built by using AI, where we are able to see the change in the planet from 17 years in the past to how it is now. This has become possible only due to the AI present in the spacecrafts made by the humans. Using AI for the enhancement of images is used by many companies nowadays to get clear pictures of space objects which can then be used for the following, that is observation, research and studies. In the world of satellite imagery, there are only a few players: the picture takers, the sense makers, and the ones that involve doing both. Now from the following companies, we have two main companies. First comes Digital Globe. Digital Globe is the leading company as the picture taker of the planet. Digital Globe is an American commercial vendor of space imagery and geospatial content and operator of civilian remote sensing of spacecraft. The company went public on the New York Stock Exchange on 14th May 2009. Their products are high-resolution satellite imagery and geospatial solutions. Digital Globe has about 1,200 employees and is ranked first amongst its 10 competitors. Next comes is Orbital Insight. Orbital Insight is one of the forerunning sense makers. Orbital Insight is actually a Palo Alto, California-based geospatial analytics company. The company analyzes satellite, drone, balloon, and other unmanned aerial vehicle images, including cell phone geolocation data, to study a range of human activity and provides business and other strategic insights from the data. Orbital Insight's estimated annual revenue is currently $11.7 million per year. We all know that we had recently got an image of a black hole which made history. This black hole image had come about 4 years back. The image of the black hole was taken on April 2017 with the help of powerful telescopes and artificial intelligence for enhancement. The image was of a supermassive black hole at the center of the M87 galaxy, some 17 megaparsecs away, approximately 55 million light years. The researchers had formed the image by combining radio frequency signals and enhancing the image they had collected from observations across the Earth in just 2 nights. The telescope, which was used for picturing of the black hole, was a system of telescopes called as Event Horizon Telescope. This Event Horizon Telescope consisted of 8 telescopes that were placed around the world. The computer vision AI algorithm was fed with lots of galactic and other images to make it learn how things look in the universe. This was later used for combining the data that was collected by the 8 telescopes. The algorithm for the AI was trained on 3 different sets of data. These data were black hole, astronomical, and everyday. Hence, the image of the black hole was formed with the help of AI and the system of telescopes.
Good morning, I am Karthik Aravind of class 10B. I am going to tell about robots and artificial intelligence. Robots are machines that have inbuilt artificial intelligence. They are used in all kinds of situations, especially where they can do tasks or complete missions that are too dangerous for a human to undertake. The term artificial intelligence comprises all techniques that enable computer to copy intelligence. For example, computers that can analyze data or the systems embedded in an autonomous vehicle. Usually, artificial intelligence systems are taught by humans. That is a process that involves writing an awful lot of complex code. Now I am going to tell about AI assisting in the manufacturing of satellites and spacecraft. Satellites and spacecrafts are complex and expensive pieces of equipment to put together. Within the spacecraft manufacturing operations, there are complex tasks that need to be done with exacting measures of precision and often must be done in clean rooms with little exposure to potential contamination. When working to assemble satellites, not only AI can help to physically speed up the process, but it can analyze the process to itself, see if there are ways the process can be improved. Thank you.
Hi, myself Dheeraj from class 10th. Today I'm going to explain how the game works. Game instructions. Use arrow keys to move the space shuttle. Use spacebar to shoot the opponent. About game. This is shield. This will be thrown in the space. If you capture, it will protect you from the meteorites and the UFO for a particular time. This is life. This will be thrown in the space. If you capture, it will increase or decrease the life. This is meteorite. This will be thrown in the space. If you touch this, your life will decrease. If you touch this 3 times, you will die. This is UFO. This will be flying in the space. This will shoot you. You have to escape from it, or after 3 lives you will die. This is health. If you hit the meteorites or UFO's bullets, your health will be decreased one by one. If your 3 health go, you will die. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Today my group is going to be talking about demystifying space. First, let us all know what is space. Space, which is also known as outer space, is a near vacuum between celestial bodies. It is also where everything, meaning all the planets, stars, galaxies, etc., are found. Today my group will be talking about different theories and objects in space. While some are true, others are still a mystery. The participants of the group are Aditya Raj Rajit, which is me, Nandini Vedyanathan, Arjun.s, Arvind.s, and Karunesh Kumar. And in this project, we will be talking about dark matter and dark energy, white holes, nuclear pasta, wormholes, nebula, and multiverse. I hope you will find these topics interesting.
Dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter is the name we give to all the mass in the universe that remains invisible, and there is a lot of it. We are much more certain what dark matter is not than we are what it is. First, it is dark, meaning that it is not in the form of stars and planets that we see. Observations show that there is far too little visible matter in the universe to make up the 27% required by the observation. Second, it is not in the form of dark clouds of normal matter, matter made up of particles called baryons. We know this because we will be able to detect baryonic clouds by the absorption of radiation passing through them. Third, dark matter is not antimatter because we don't see the unique gamma rays that are produced when antimatter annihilates with matter. Dark energy. Dark energy is the name given to the mysterious force that causes the rate of expansion of our universe to accelerate over time rather than to slow down. It turns out that roughly 68% of the universe is dark energy. Rest is unknown than known.
Physicists describe a white hole as a black hole's time reversal, a video of a black hole played backwards, much as a bouncing ball is the time reversal of a falling ball. While a black hole's event horizon is a sphere of no return, a white hole's event horizon is a boundary of no admission. Space-time's most exclusive club. No spacecraft will ever reach the region's edge. Objects inside a white hole can leave and interact with the outside world. But since nothing can get in, the interior is cut off from the universe's past. No outside event will ever affect the inside. Somehow, it's more disturbing to have a singularity in the past that can affect everything in the outside world, says James Bardeen, a black hole pioneer and professor emeritus at the University of Washington. For a while, white holes seem to share the fate of wormholes, mathematically permissible contortions of spacetime, likely prohibited by reality. But in recent years, some physicists have brought back white holes in an attempt to save their darker siblings from an unseemly death. In general relativity, a white hole is a hypothetical region of spacetime and singularity that cannot be entered from the outside. Although energy, matter, light, and information can escape from it. In this sense, it is the reverse of a black hole, which can only be entered from the outside and from which energy, that is matter, light, and information, cannot escape. White holes appear in the theory of eternal black holes.
Neutron stars are basically the remnant of a mainstream star who has burnt all of his fuel in a supernova explosion. When a star of around 15 to 20 solar masses completely burnt his fuel, which is hydrogen, helium, and other heavy elements, it would explode into a supernova event and releases its mass in the form of radiation, and the gravitational collapse will increase in formation of neutron star. Neutron star weighs around 1.5 to 3 solar masses and is very small in radius, around the size of a small city, which is around 7 miles, but has extremely high gravity and is very dense. They spin at a very high rate of around 700 rpm on its axis. A teaspoon full of matter from neutron star will weigh around the Mount Everest. They are almost entirely made of neutrons and are stable because of neutron degeneracy pressure. When a mainstream star of a little more mass, of around 20 solar masses, explode in a supernova explosion, the gravitational collapse will result in black hole of around 3 to 4 solar masses. Even the neutron degeneracy pressure, quark degeneracy pressure, will not be able to limit gravitational collapse. Forget the steel, forget the diamond, and even forget the Grampi. Nuclear pasta can be the strongest material in the universe. A team of scientists has calculated the strength of the deep material inside the layer of neutrons, and it is considered the strongest known material in the universe. Researchers successfully run the largest computer simulation organized by neutron star crust, which describes how they break. Scientists say neutron star crust, especially under the layer, is relevant to the problems of astrophysics, but it is not well understood. Superman is known as Steel of Man for its strength and inseparability. But the discovery of new material breaking 10 billion times harder than the steel raises the question of whether it is known as new superhero, which is nuclear star. This is the name of the substance that a team of researchers invented, which is the strongest known ingredient in the universe, nuclear pasta. This high density causes the material that is known as nuclear pasta, which creates a neutron star for a unique structure. Under the layers, competitive forces between protons and neutrons cause them to collect in tall cylinders or flat planes, which are known in the literature as lasagna and spaghetti. Hence the name nuclear pasta. It happens. Together, huge density and odd shapes make nuclear pasta incredibly stiff.
So, what exactly is a wormhole? So, to put it in the simplest words, I would say a wormhole is basically a tunnel in space, and on one end of the tunnel is a black hole, and on the other end it is a white hole. Wormholes were first theorized in 1916, and in 1935 Einstein and physicist Nathan Rosen used the theory of general relativity to elaborate on the idea. So just to remind you, this concept of wormholes, right, it is just a theory. It has not yet been found, or it has not yet been proved that it exists, but it's a theory. It might be there, and Einstein's theory of relativity could give a proper reason why it could exist. Okay, so it's like kind of bridges in space, so you know how black holes are, right? Black holes and white holes are closely related to wormholes, because whatever comes through the black hole, it will go out through the white hole, and in between these two there is a tunnel, and that tunnel is called the wormhole. So that's basically it, and this wormhole connects two different points in space. For example, if you go through the wormhole, you could end up in a completely different galaxy or universe or something like that, or it could even take you to a different point of time. So it's kind of like time travel. But just to remind you again, it's not yet been found, or it's not yet been proved in real life. It's just a theory that could exist. So this can be a possibility for time travel. and wormholes contain two mouths with a throat connecting the two. The mouths would most likely be spheroidal, and the throat might be a straight stretch. Black holes and wormholes are special types of solutions to Einstein's equation, arising when the structures of space-time is strongly bent by gravity. So the primordial wormholes are predicted to exist on microscopic levels, meaning right now they are predicted to be very very tiny, but as the universe expands, it is predicted to stretch to larger sizes.
Nebula is a giant cloud of dust and gases, mostly hydrogen and helium. Some nebulae, more than one nebula, come from the gas and dust thrown out by the explosion of a dying star, such as a supernova. Other nebulae are regions where new stars are beginning to form. The dust and gases in a nebula are very spread out, but gravity can slowly begin to pull together clumps of dust and gases. As these clumps get bigger and bigger, the gravity gets stronger and stronger. Eventually, the clump of dust and gases gets so big that it collapses from its own gravity. The collapse causes the material at the center of the cloud to heat up, and this hot core is the beginning of a star. Where are nebulas found? Nebulas exist in the space between the stars, also known as interstellar space. The closest known nebula to Earth is called the Helix Nebula. It is the remnant of a dying star, possibly one like the Sun. It is approximately 700 light years away from the Earth. That means even if you could travel at the speed of light, it would still take you 700 years to get there.
So what exactly is the multiverse? The multiverse is a hypothetical group of multiple universes. Together, these universes comprise everything that exists, the entirety of space, time, matter, energy, information, and the physical laws and constants that describe them. The different universes within the multiverse are called parallel universes, other universes, alternate universes, or many worlds. So basically what this means is that some people believe that there can be more than one universe. Okay, means that there will be several universes out there, and some might even be similar to ours. Meaning, for example, right now we are living on Earth, right? There might be another universe there can be a similar Earth, and there can be like similar human beings like us, but it's in a completely different universe. So that's the concept. It might exist, we don't know yet, but it's just a theory. Early recorded examples of the idea of infinite worlds existed in the philosophy of ancient Greek atomism, and multiple universes have been hypothesized in cosmology, physics, astronomy, religion, philosophy, transpersonal psychology, and etc. And the physics community has debated the various multiverse theories over time. Means they are not yet sure if it exists or not. Prominent physicists are divided about whether any other universes exist outside of our own. So basically we are still trying to find out if there are parallel universes or different universes where life or anything exists. Hello everyone, I am Aditya Raj Rajit, and today I am going to be explaining you about how the app my group made works and the functionality and what it can show you. So I have the app with me right now. So the first page is about basically it's like the main page, and it has the Robotix logo and the school logo, and below that is the title and the participants from the group, and right at the end you can see there is a welcome button. Once you press a welcome button, what happens is that you get directed to a completely new page, and this page is about the introduction, meaning like in our app there is 6 topics. So each topic there is like an introduction of about 5 lines, and that is contained inside this page. For example, wormholes, there are like 5 lines of details, and nuclear pasta there are like 5 to 6 lines, and same for dark matter, white holes, nebula, multiverse, and that's how it goes on. So totally we have 6 topics, and at the top we can see that there are 3 buttons. One is the play button, the pause button, and the stop button. What happens when you press the play button is that the audio starts playing. Audio in the sense the voiceover starts playing. So the voiceover for the entire page, I mean, like for example over here wormholes, it's saying like wormholes are hypothetical space-time structures with non-trivial topologies. That few lines, right? And the entire page for nuclear pasta and everything in that particular page, it will read out. For example, right now when I press it, introduction, wormholes,
Wormholes are hypothetical space-time structures with non...
And I can pause it by pressing the middle button, and if you want to restart it, you can just press the end button and press play again.
Introduction.
And it restarts. And I added a few gifs also in between to make it look more cool. And right at the end there's a next button. So once you click that, we get to a completely new page now, and this is where the main content is. Okay, it's like for all the 6 topics we researched about. For example, if I want to know about wormholes, I click on wormholes, takes me to a new page and shows me all the details about wormholes, and it also shows some pictures. So it's like, we each researched about some topics, and we added those topics into the app, and some people also did the voiceovers. So if I click on the play button again,
A wormhole is basically 2 black holes that are connected like a tunnel.
and it reads whatever is in that particular page. And that's how each and every page is made. We basically do the voiceovers, we do the content, and we add that inside the app, and also we add some pictures. And same for nuclear pasta.
What is a neutron star? On a clear night, you can see stars in the sky for millions of
And that's how it is. Yeah, and we also added pictures for each and every topic, and that's how each and every page is made. I hope you understood, and I hope you liked the project. Thank you and have a nice day.